Now, I am going to dictate a legal passage based on latest Supreme Court judgment at the rate of 120 words per minute. Let's start.
In the landmark case of Justice K.S. Putasamy (retired) versus Union of India decided on August 24, 2017, a 9-judge bench of the Supreme Court of India unanimously held that the right to privacy is a fundamental right protected under Article 21 of the Constitution. This judgment marked a turning point in Indian constitutional jurisprudence, redefining the scope of personal liberty and setting the stage for future debates on data protection, surveillance, and individual autonomy. The case originated from a challenge to the constitutional validity of the Aadhaar scheme, which required citizens to submit biometric data for access to government services. Petitioners argued that the scheme violated the right to privacy, especially in the absence of a comprehensive data protection law. The government, on the other hand, contended that privacy was not a fundamental right and that Aadhaar served a legitimate public interest. To resolve this issue, the Supreme Court constituted a 9-judge bench to determine whether the right to privacy was protected under the Constitution. The bench included Chief Justice J.S. Kehar and Justices Chilemeshwar Bobde, Nariman Lalit, Chandrachud, Kaul, Abdul Nazir, and Sapre. The court examined previous decisions including MP Sharma versus Satish Chandra (1954) and Kharak Singh versus State of Uttar Pradesh (1962), which had held that privacy was not a fundamental right. In a detailed and nuanced judgment, the court overruled these earlier decisions and held that privacy is intrinsic to the right to life and personal liberty under Article 21. Justice Chandrachud, writing for the majority, stated that the Constitution protects the dignity of the individual and privacy is an essential facet of that dignity. He emphasized that privacy includes the right to make personal choices, control personal information, and be free from unwarranted state intrusion. The court also linked privacy to other fundamental rights such as the freedom of speech, freedom of movement, and freedom of association. It held that privacy is not an elitist concern but a universal right that applies to all citizens regardless of social or economic status. The judgment recognized various dimensions of privacy including bodily privacy, informational privacy, and decisional autonomy. Justice Nariman, in his concurring opinion, traced the evolution of privacy in international law and emphasized its importance in a democratic society. He cited judgments from the United States, United Kingdom, and European Union to show that privacy is a globally recognized human right. Justice Cole added that privacy includes the right to control one's reputation and digital footprint, especially in the age of social media and big data. The court clarified that the right to privacy is not absolute and can be restricted by law, provided the restriction meets the tests of legality, necessity, and proportionality. This means that any law infringing privacy must be backed by statute, must serve a legitimate state interest, and must be narrowly tailored to achieve that interest. The court laid down a 3-part test for assessing privacy violations, which has since become a guiding framework for future cases. The judgment had immediate and far-reaching consequences. It paved the way for the Aadhaar verdict in 2018, where the court upheld the scheme but struck down its mandatory use for private services. It also influenced the drafting of the Personal Data Protection Bill, which aims to regulate the collection and processing of personal data by both government and and private entities para. Beyond legal reforms, the Puttaswamy judgment reshaped public discourse on privacy in India. It empowered citizens to challenge intrusive practices such as surveillance, data leaks, and forced disclosures. It also strengthened the judiciary's role in safeguarding civil liberties and holding the state accountable para. The judgment reaffirmed the basic structure doctrine stating that fundamental rights are part of the Constitution's code and cannot be diluted by legislative or executive action. It emphasized that constitutional interpretation must evolve with time and reflect contemporary values. The court rejected the notion that privacy is a vague or amorphous concept, asserting that it is grounded in constitutional text and democratic principles. Para. In conclusion, Justice K.S. Puttaswamy versus Union of India is a landmark judgment that elevated privacy to the status of a fundamental right and redefined the contours of personal liberty in India. It stands as a testament to the judiciary's commitment to protecting individual dignity and autonomy in the face of technological and institutional challenges for legal aspirants. This case offers rich insights into constitutional interpretation, human rights jurisprudence, and the evolving relationship between the citizen and the state. Stop. Thank you.